So project 2 is a research project. It's going to have an MLA style heading, a header with the name of the author and automatically numbered pages, some basic titles, first line indented paragraphs, double spaced, no space between paragraphs, and along the way there's going to be parenthetical references, and as we put in parenthetical references of different styles, it will automatically create works cited for us. So if you're just starting off getting ready to write papers, knowing how to do this in Word may save you a lot of aches and pains when you do works cited required if you're not going to be expelled for plagiarism. I don't know if anyone's been expelled for plagiarism, but I know people have gotten zeros on projects for plagiarism. So this will help you make it easier for you to do your works cited. And as we work through the project, we'll be doing parenthetical references, putting in information about our sources, and Word's going to generate this for us automatically. Along the way, we'll also learn how to do footnotes and a couple other basic things skills that you would want in research papers. We do learn how to do endnotes, but it doesn't look like we're going to do an endnote in this one. But I might add that just to give you practice at endnotes. All right, so let's get started. We're not going to get too far in this because I want you to learn how to adjust our normal style. So let's get into Word here. I'll get this back over to my other page. Okay, let's get started in Word. Right now Word has my last document open. I'm going to close Word and then start it from scratch. Blank document. Before I do anything, I'm going to Control-S save this into the right place. It remembers previous locations. There's my section 2 location that I just saved. I'm going to go there and save this as WD2 research project. Now all the subsequent saves, it makes sure to put that in that right place. In the previous section, there were a few students that came in and said they had lost their poster project. I'm not sure. I have a feeling they didn't quite have it saved where they thought it was. So be really diligent on saving your documents. Use your login, and don't forget to log out so someone doesn't actually sit down at this computer and erase your work. Even before we get started typing here, we want to set the formatting of our paragraphs. And just like with fonts, if we start with a big font, it remembers the font as I keep typing. We want to set a paragraph so that the rest of the paragraphs in our document will have that formatting. Even more, we want the normal style in this document to be the type of font that this teacher is requiring for this research paper. So I'm going to actually, instead of I'm going to be changing the style of my first paragraph, so all the rest are going to be like it. I'm going to change what normal is. And we can do that by right-clicking Modify on that normal style. If I right-click Modify, I am modifying what normal is in this document. I could even choose to remember this for all documents I ever use, but we don't want to do that. We only want to set normal to be something in this document, and that's the default setting. So what do we want to be normal here? We want normal to be not 11-point Calibri. We want this to be Times New Roman. So I choose on the formatting for normal. If you don't see Times New Roman at the top, go down all the way to the T's and find Times New Roman. That's going to be our normal style for this document. What normal is going to be is also going to be 12-point. It's also going to be, let's see, I think that's we're going to do that. We're going to come back later and show you how we can modify more. I think we're going with the standard 1-inch margin, so that's standard, so we're leaving that alone. We didn't have to worry about that. Yeah, normal now is 12 point times New Roman. And now we click OK. And notice here, as I start a new paragraph, it's going to be Times New Roman 12 point. If I chose another style, it would be back to some other font or whatever is the style for that. Because each style remembers its settings. But let's make sure we're back in normal. And I actually, why isn't it changing back to normal? Uh-oh, I messed up. What's going on here? It won't let me go back to normal. Let me do Control Z if it lets me go back. Uh-oh, I think I found a bug in Microsoft.
I think just your italics is on.
But see how this is grayed? It's not letting me leave. Yeah, I can turn italics off. But why is that that's bugging me that's highlighted over there. Huh. Well, I'll continue. If I modify, it remembers 12 point there. Okay. And it is 12 point. Okay. So that being grayed there, that's bothering me. Why is that grayed? But anyway, I also want to change my spacing. So we're going to adjust our line spacing for the first paragraph by coming over to here, and I can choose line spacing 2. Now, how do I know it's line spacing of 2? Well, if I come back now, I'll see 2 has a little check mark next to it. I also want to remove spaces after paragraphs. I don't want extra space between paragraphs. So I'm going to click Remove Space. And how do I know it worked? Come back here, and I see that now they both say Add. Now, it could always come here to Line Spacing Options and see all the options I have. Notice it's remembering line spacing is double. I have other options here. Well, we'll come back to. Let's see if they have us do that here. We do. I know I do. We're eventually going to want that first line indent. Maybe we come back later. Yeah, we'll come back later and adjust first line indent. So I have that now. Now I realize I want this to be normal. I can now right-click, update normal to match selection. Meaning I don't have to manually go in and change normal now. I can just say, oh, whatever I just did, make that my normal. So I right-click, update normal to match. Now, okay, now normal is highlighted like it was supposed to be. Now let's see, did it really happen? Let's go to modify. And I see that normal is 12 point times New Roman. If I click format here and go to paragraph, I should see, yes, I see that now normal is double spacing and no spaces after paragraphs. So that's how I can verify, yes, normal now is double spaced, no space after paragraphs, and normal now is ready to remember my settings as I start now to fill in my document. I'm going to Control S, save this, so this document remembers. Because remember, when we modified our style, we had it to remember this in this document. We'll be doing more then next time. We'll get started on a research paper, but this is just getting started, setting our styles, ready to roll. What I like to do is give you a little time just before the end of class if you need to finish up things. And there will be times where I get carried away and don't pay attention to the clock. But I'll give you a few extra minutes finishing up anything, save your documents, logging out. On the logout, remember, you can lock or you can switch user. I would say, unless you're coming back, don't leave your screen locked. People can always turn off the computer and unlock it. You can do a switch user though, and when you come back, you can quickly log back in. Safest is to log out and make sure all your documents are safely put away before you leave. So we'll stop there. You can log out, save any documents, and remember, it's Marble Chapel Monday.